Hi and welcome back to Bounce Forward with me, Tiff. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm recording this podcast, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to elders, past and present. Today we're talking about a TikTok trend that you've probably seen, but I'm not happy about it. Okay, this question is from Tarina. I'm interested to know about whether building muscle or tone can actually increase our measurements and what might be reasonable to expect. I'm petite, so not really a fat loss question. I want to begin answering this question by saying that building muscle will not make you bulky. Recomping your body is very important. The aim is to have more lean body mass and less fat. And that decreases your risk of disease, osteoporosis, all the big things that you want to avoid in life. You've got to remember that muscle takes up less space than fat. So if anything, your measurements should decrease. But you can be petite and still be what people used to refer, and this is a horrible term and I don't like using it, but I don't know what other term to use. It's in the media, skinny fat, right? Now, what is meant by that is that you have a composition where a person appears to be thin, but they have a high percentage of body fat relative to their lean muscle mass. Now, it's important to note that body composition is more meaningful measure of health than just body weight. Even if someone has a low or normal weight, having a high percentage of body fat and low muscle mass can still pose health risks. So it's really important to build that muscle and to not worry about the number on the scales. And I always say, hide your scales, throw them away. Don't use scales as a measure of your progress, okay? Let's talk a little bit about recompositioning your body because it's really important. You want to hit the resistance training, bit of cardiovascular exercise, and of course, proper nutrition. And the key components of recomping include those main things. So resistance training, anything from picking up the dumbbells, going to the gym, doing your squats, your compound multiple muscle group exercises like squats, deadlifts, your bench presses. Then you've got your cardiovascular exercise such as your running, you got spin, you got high intensity interval training HIIT. You can burn calories and contribute to the fat loss. However, emphasis on cardio may not be as important if you're trying to build that muscle. And then you've got the nutrition, which is super important because you want to be hitting a certain amount of protein in order to repair the muscles and build those muscles. And then the last thing that I'd have to say that is really important in recompositioning the body is consistency. You've got to be super consistent with your training. Progress is gradual, and that's something that you have to recognize and accept. It does take time. It's not going to happen overnight. And that's why these quick fixes and these supplements and these bad diets, they don't work because recomping is what we're all aiming to do. And it does take time. And you want to make sure that you're improving your muscle tone and reducing your body fat without any drastic fluctuations in weight. It's really important. So at the end of the day, building muscle may lead to an increase in measurements, particularly in areas where you're focusing on that muscle development. But as I said, the muscle takes up less space than fat does. So in my experience, when I've had measurements, say when I was a gladiator and I was the most muscular I've ever been compared to say now, I was actually smaller with my measurements as a gladiator than what I am as a normal Tiff walking around now. It blows your mind and it's crazy, but I wouldn't be worried about increasing measurements with strength training. I just do the work, be consistent. And if you have specific fitness or body composition goals, then follow an expert trainer. An expert program is really important so that you know what you're doing and there's progress and there's progressive overload. That's really important. I wouldn't get hung up on measurements going up. I'd forget about all measurements, weight, numbers, and just focus on how you feel. And that's all about your strength. And maybe, some serious PBs like how much can you squat? That's a really good thing to focus on. So Samantha reached out to me and asked me, what do you think of this new TikTok trend, legging legs? Oh, what a load of rubbish. It's like having a bikini body or a Kim Kardashian butt, isn't it? It's all part of body part fashion trends and toxic diet culture in action. TikTokers have been using the hashtag legging legs and terms like perfect legging legs to tell everyone what they think your legs should look like if you were to wear a pair of leggings. Because who knows more about what you're supposed to look like than some random on TikTok, honestly. At least TikTok have banned you searching for hashtags and terms legging legs now. They've done something about it and I'm really happy about it. Yet many people are still looking at social media to determine how they should look. And this makes me really sad. It's like going into a train station or something and saying, tell me what to do with my life. It's just so ridiculous. And there's no shortage of people on social media ready to tell you what they think you should be doing or the way you should look, and they have no qualifications. So keep that in mind. You don't need to look to social media to have self-esteem or self-worth. I think it's really dangerous and these trends need to stop. Healthy legs come in all shapes and sizes and they all deserve to wear leggings, bike shorts, anything you want. I did ballet as a young girl for many years and my ballet teacher would berate me and say, oh, you have footy player legs. And she would get really cross at me because I had muscly legs. And that was from years of doing taekwondo and I was training really hard at that time and I loved my sport and I was always so self-conscious of my footy player legs. I never wore a skirt. I was always so self-conscious. But those legs have been really good for me. Like I've made a career out of my legs, out of fitness, out of using them for exercise and stuff like that. And I'm really proud of my legs now. So I do wear skirts and I wear leggings and I wear bike shorts and I'm really proud of them that they're muscly and that I don't have a thigh gap. Actually, I don't want a thigh gap because that would mean I didn't have muscles and I wasn't strong. So, I think that we really need to take a breath. And when we see things like this, just scroll past it, delete it, don't look at it, don't engage with it, don't read it, because it's really important to not get your self-worth from likes, from social media, but to have a sense of yourself and what you want to achieve in your life, and just know that a healthy body comes in all shapes, all sizes, and they all deserve to wear leggings. As a trainer, I've been at the forefront of seeing these ridiculous body part trends come in and out of fashion. Recently, it was all about the Barbie neck and getting Botox in your traps and shoulders to elongate your neck and relax the muscles around your shoulders so that you didn't look hunched and you had a longer neck like Barbie. How ridiculous. And this week, one of my closest friends who is also a trainer said, I've just had a few clients ask me for Miley Cyrus's arms from the Grammys. And like Miley Cyrus, she looked fantastic at the Grammys. She sung her heart out. She won a Grammy. She's got strong arms, but we don't all have to have Miley Cyrus's arms. We have our own arms. And as personal trainers, we're not here to just serve out Miley Cyrus's arms or Barbie's neck or Kim Kardashian's butt. We're here to help you get fit and healthy, strong, long term. And the problem with these trends is that they lead to unhealthy behaviors, toxic diet behaviors like skinny me tea, for example, diet pills, people using Ozempic without needing to use Ozempic. There's so much bad dieting going on out there and quick fixes that are, one, a real waste of your money and your time. Two, they're just so bad psychologically because you are never going to have Miley Cyrus's arms or Barbie's neck. You're just not. You have your neck and you have your arms and you can tone them and you can train them and you can get fitter and healthier overall, but we're not going to look like Miley or Kim Kardashian. And Kim Kardashian, she is interfering with her appearance. She is using all kinds of smokes and mirrors and God knows what to get a certain aesthetic, which is not a true representation of a body. Her backside and her waist are definitely outside of what is normal from a training perspective. Like, you would have to train for 20 years straight to get glutes as big as hers. And I know she hasn't done 20 years of bodybuilding training. And if you were to build the glutes as big as that after 20 years, you'd also build other areas of the body, which she hasn't. So it's really peculiar body shape, and I don't think it's real. And we really need to look at the media, look at images, analyze them, and just say it's not real. But what is real is eating healthy, training, doing things that boost my mood so that I feel good. It's not just about how you look. And I always say that looking good is a side effect of feeling good, and you have to start with feeling good and do that mood boosting stuff like exercise and eating well and healthy choices, and then you will look good because you just are being nice to yourself. Thanks so much for listening to Bounce Forward. I love having your company, so please DM me on Instagram at tiffhall_xo and let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to rate and review me on your podcast app. Speak soon. Happy days.